I'm Kat, an independent midwife from Wales. Welcome to the Mother of All Podcasts, where nothing is off the table of discussion. If it leaks, cries, swears, screams, goes up, but doesn't stay up, we're talking about it. It's time to get raw and real. Your no BS guide to pregnancy, preconception, birth, adolescence, wet dreams, wet in the bed, coming home pissed. Who knows? Whatever. We're just going to talk about it. Life and parenting doesn't come with a manual. Well, not a decent one anyway. So let's just create a podcast. Welcome to the Mother of All Podcasts. I don't even know where that come from.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's not even in it.
That's good.
Good morning. So tell me why you're here, what's your name, and why have I asked you to come on today?
So I'm Kyle. I'm just a guy. I'm all right. If you ask me how I am, I can't remember. And why did you ask me on? So we know someone in common. We've got mutual friends.
Yeah.
I met on the mum circuit, and you birthed her second daughter. A couple of weeks.
Birthed her.
She birthed her. You were like an assist. You had like an assist. Yeah. She did a lot of the donkey work.
She did.
She tells me.
I just rocked her.
A couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And then she put us in touch.
Yeah. So I asked Kyle to come on because he is a stay-at-home dad. My husband was a stay-at-home dad, but not till we had our third, so I could go back to uni and be a midwife.
Okay.
So that was 18 years ago. So when she told me about you, first and foremost, there's not many of you out there. And secondly, I wanted to have a discussion to see if societal norms and how people accept it has changed over the years. So first of all, tell me a story about your kids. Where did they arrive? How did they arrive? Where did you meet your wife? If she's not your wife,
girlfriend.
partner.
We're still on. We're still kind of feeling our way through it. We haven't fully committed after 14 years, 2 houses and 3 kids. Probation. I'm on.
What is she on?
She's on a long-term contract, but it's rolling. It's indefinite. No, she's a good woman. I feel like lucky to have shared a drink with her, let alone a life. She's a good woman. She's very she's naturally milky, warm, bosomy, busy primary school teacher. She's lovely. Well, so we met backpacking in Vietnam on Christmas Day, 2008, I think, a little bit hazy. And then didn't really align with where we were going metaphorically, but also in terms of flights and things. And then I went to work in Australia for a little bit.
Did she come with you?
No, she had refundable flights, and she wasn't in the economic situation to follow her heart, so she had to move on. But we stayed in touch, I think, with a kind of background knowledge of this might go somewhere. After I worked in New Zealand for a little bit, and then kind of met up in London. She was living in London. I moved back to Barry. That lasted 4 days.
Your sins.
Yeah. No job, no money, no woman, no house. So,
I hate my life.
Yeah. And it was it's quite hard to be in that reality after whatever, it sounds so Lonely Planet cliche, but watching the sun set over the temple in Cambodia, and you're it's
Barry Island.
Yeah.
And the
drive-throughs and concrete and ITV and whatever. So I couldn't really stay. So I went to London, and I think subconsciously chose where she lived in London. But then she was on a anyway. She was on her travels, and it kind of met back up. And then we decided after 2 months of going out to move to Spain.
Wow.
And she was she had an actual career.
Is she Spanish?
Unfortunately, whisper it quietly, she's English. Not ideal, is it? I
My
know.
dad.
Her nan is from from North Wales. So
Okay.
there's we've got a drop of purity there somewhere. No, she's from Lincolnshire. I still don't know where
It is what it is. No.
Yeah. Despite that, I've overlooked those factors. So we moved to Spain after 2 months. To Valencia.
Beautiful.
Lovely place. She's because she's a real human.
Yeah.
She got a job. She was a teacher, so it kind of transferred. The first place that offered her a job was Valencia, and the city we decided to have a year in Europe was the city of Valencia. So I went hitchhiking with some mates around Europe.
Yeah.
Ended up in Valencia on a literal roll of a dice, because we were rolling dice, and if we get a 2, we're going to go to Berlin. If we get a 3, we'll follow a yellow car for 200 miles, whatever. Ran out of money in Valencia, so I called her, do you want a holiday? In Valencia. So she came over and she was like, where's the hotel? And I was like, no, there's no hotel. You're the hotel. We're sleeping on the beach. Ironically, she insisted on a hostel because she fancy. The same street we bought a house like 10 years after that.
Wow.
And we walked past the bench where we had a conversation and said, like, do you want to just like get out of London for a little bit and see what like hot Mediterranean Europe is like for a year, eat too much food, like learn a bit of the language. And ironically, out of all the places we were looking for, it's like France, Portugal, Greece, Spain. Valencia was the first one, and we knew it before. Like Spanish would be more useful than say not having to go with the Italians, but Italian. So we went there. Meant to be a year, and then didn't leave for 13 years.
So what did you? Obviously, you started your family out there, planned.
Yeah.
What did you do for like income?
So, like, the majority of...
Because that's grown up, and it's fucking boring.
Yeah,
but we do need money.
We do need money for things, don't we? We need to buy things
Just
and
things.
Food. I hate the word expat, so I would never... Like, I was an immigrant and proud to be an immigrant. And would be, current climate, very pro-immigration in general.
Snap.
Yeah. I can tell that because you're wearing, like, leopard print dungarees, and there's not many racists who wear leopard print dungarees, I found. It's like a Venn diagram of two separate circles.
It's that, but also menopausal women.
Yeah,
you will often
allies.
find them wearing leopard.
Oh, right, yeah. It's the uniform. It's a good uniform. What was I saying?
What
work.
do you do for income?
So, like, every giri, which is like what a Spanish would call like a gringo from the north of Europe, is an English teacher, basically, because I am...
Okay.
She was a teacher in London, in Hackney, frontline social services, and I was just, like, dotting around, really. And then she got a job straight away. The head teacher saw me with like a brown satchel one day, and he was like, "Well, you're a teacher, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh my God, you couldn't get any more.
Serious, but Spain is like Spain doesn't care, and that's why I love Spain. Like I'm in love with Spain because they just fundamentally don't care.
Yeah,
like, it's just very easy.
My mum lived in Spain for 15 years.
Yeah, where to?
She lived in Alicante.
Oh right, okay, yeah. So we were a couple of hours north of there. They just don't care, and that's like liberating. It's not even apathy because it's not like an indifference, but they just don't respect like regulation, which is infuriating and chaotic, but also it's quite fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we worked as English teachers basically, but like it's a different economy out there. So we were working, especially after the kids came, like a couple of hours a day, 4 days a week, 8 months a year. Which I understand the privilege now being back in whatever the modern hellscape of whatever Britain is. I realise how lucky we were. We just hung out with the twins for like 3 years basically on a beach. It's hard not to sound arrogant saying that. It's just lovely.
You don't sound arrogant at all. That's just such British mentality when we're afraid to express
nice things.
how much we enjoyed our lifestyle. That's shit.
Yeah.
And we all should stop that, but I don't see it changing in the future. So skip forward, you found out you were pregnant. Naturally conceived twins in Spain. I'm really intrigued to hear about this.
So Valencia is the twin capital of Europe.
Is it?
For lots of different factors. Like if you eat fish, you're going to have twins. If you have a fish finger, you will have twins immediately afterwards.
What?
That's not true, but the more seafood you eat, the more likely you are to have twins.
Well, is that just a Valencian culture
No,
thing?
there's like lots of different factors, and Valencia happens to like have 8 of the 9 factors globally. So it's like a genetic thing.
Wow.
It's about your quality of life.
Yeah.
So like Valencia's a relatively affluent city
of
by
course.
Spanish standards. It's on the coast, which means you're more likely to have twins. The Spanish women wait a lot later.
Yeah, in life.
To have kids, and obviously, so my girlfriend was 36.
Yeah.
So I think her body was just like, let's release as many. In pinball where you get the multi-ball, it's just like let the eggs go where they might. Do you know what I mean? She's like, hurry up. Yeah, and she was kind of like, I think she was probably ready a couple of years before I was.
Yeah.
So her body was like, oh, he said yes, let's
capitalise
on
this.
Have two. And then it's like a genetic thing, like Nigerians will pop out a twin every other birth, whereas Japanese, unheard of, you won't find any. So Spanish have just like genetically propensity to have twins.
And have you got twins in your family?
Yes, but that's irrelevant. So when they told us, we went to the meeting. It wasn't a meeting, is it?
It's a booking appointment.
An appointment, that's the word. Went to the appointment, and they were like listening for that heartbeat, and they said, "Oh, son dos." So I'm like, "Hang on." I did speak Spanish, but I'm like, dos, so uno, dos, two. Yeah, that's natural, because it's like the baby's heartbeat and then the mother's heartbeat. And they were like, no, like, son dos bebés. And I'm like, it takes a while to translate it in your head anyway. And you're like, dos means two, babies probably means babies. I'm joking, like, I can't speak Spanish. And we're like, oh, fuck. And then they asked us if there's twins in the family. And I did have them, but it was irrelevant because, like, I've got... when they're fraternal twins, non-identical twins, that's to do with the mum releasing eggs rather than, like, a super virile... I'm quite virile anyway. But, like, a virile dad forcing two sperms into an egg. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So she just released 2 eggs and I happened to be around.
Wow.
Yeah. On holiday in like the Alps.
Yeah.
But weirdly, if they're non-identical, you're quite likely to have, I think, 2 separate
placentas.
No, 2. What's the word? You're going to have. I'm trying to think of a euphemism for sex because my mum might listen to this. Conception, shagging. You might have 2 different conceptions.
Yeah.
Within the and because we're on holiday, do you know what I mean? We think maybe one was born in Switzerland, conceived in Switzerland, and the other one in Liechtenstein, which is weird because you only stopped in there for petrol. That's not so. The other one in Austria, which is, I think has informed the kids' politics a little bit.
So basically, no, your kids are going to listen to this when they're older.
They're not. They're not getting the hard drive of all my secrets.
So basically, 2 quickies at 2 different times.
Yes, I think so.
That's basically.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But as soon as they said twins, it was as if it always had been. It wasn't a shock, and it was like
you weren't
immediately.
Shocked? It wasn't like, oh fuck, what am I going to do now?
No, just like assimilated the information. She panicked a little bit because she's like because she's such an organizer and rational and sensible and like a grown up. I don't know what type A is.
So
do you mean not blood?
No, personality.
Right.
Type A
it's like an alpha.
Yeah.
I don't know, but she's bossy. She's a bossy woman.
Likes to plan.
Yeah, she's a planner.
Needs to be in control in certain situations, so she feels out of her depth.
Possibly, yeah. I'm not sure I've analysed her. I've spent time with her, I've just never really fully analysed
you'll go
her.
home
Right,
and
read a book about her.
It
all makes sense. Because she's such a planner, that affords me like the luxury of just being like a jazz dad and just like improvising it. And I'm responsible for like inflating things on the beach, and that's it really. No, like I hate the word hands-on as well as a dad. As hands-on dad, what does that mean?
Hate that.
But like I am as involved as her, if not more, because like I'm with the kids more because she's working.
Yeah.
But she's talked about the silent woman's burden, right? Which I assume she's heard on an American podcast, women talking about things. But like it's true that she knows things that I don't know because. Maybe she feels like she has to because I don't know them. I
think it's a natural instinct that it can be a burden.
Yeah.
Rather than, I don't know, it's something that you just know internally and you're better at it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean it works for couples, i.e. me and my husband and you and your girlfriend. I keep saying wife. You should go and propose now after this.
Well, I did propose.
Oh, okay.
And then... COVID happened, and I was like, maybe this is a sign from the universe that she's not the right one. So it's like on ice, but yeah, it's going to happen at some point for like tax reasons, if nothing else. Romantic, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. That £1,250 a year that
you
can get for marriage allowance.
She never, how much?
1,250.
She told me that I would have married her a week after we met. Why is she keeping that to herself? She doesn't know. No, we proposed in Belarus. So we took the kids when the kids were 1, the twins were 1. We took them on their back because we met backpacking, and in Spain, like we were often spent more time away from Spain than in Spain, just backpacking and whatever. Yeah. And we were like, when you have kids, before you have kids, you make these grand proclamations of like, this is not going to stop me doing what I want to do.
It doesn't though.
Well, it can do, but we tried.
It's not the same, but you can carry on.
Yeah, no, we tried backpacking with the twins in like Poland and Belarus. Poland was all right because it's a very family.
I love Poland.
Yeah.
We took our 3 there.
Did you?
When they were little. We took them out of school for 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
Bought a £500 caravan and shoved it on the back of our car and just travelled Europe. We were meant to be overnight in Gdansk.
Yeah.
And we ended up staying in Poland for 3 weeks. It is really family.
It is very family orientated.
And they were 14... 11 and 7, I believe. My son was just going into his GCSEs and my daughter was just about to start high school. Yeah, it was amazing.
How did the kids find it?
We talk about it every day.
Really?
Yeah, and they're like 26, 22 and 18 now.
Yeah.
So.
How did they like adjust when they come back?
We were all different people. Like before we went out there, we were a completely broken family because I'd done a 3-year degree. My husband was had to transition and be the stay-at-home parent.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was called back then.
Yeah.
Finances were shocking, one wage, and being in uni.
Yeah.
Puberty with my son, it was just that whole... And my kids have been brought very
cocktail
liberal and quite independent and can say what the hell they want. But all of a sudden that bothered me.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to say what they wanted.
Yeah.
And it was because we didn't have that time together anymore, because I was always so busy and very resentful that my husband had the benefit of staying home. So yeah, I just said we either fix or we part.
The way that any like imbalance, there's a tension, and what you try not to fall into the trap of, we try not to fall into the trap of competing over who's like what's harder, 3 kids at home or working. You know,
it's topic of conversation though, isn't it? And even before you realise you're saying it and you hate yourself for saying it again, we still do it now. And they're adults, and I was just about to say they don't need us as much, but that's bullshit.
Good, because like I need to be needed.
No,
like it's because it's addictive, it's intoxicating. Like the adulation and the obligation they put on you. I'm terrified of it going, because I might not have I'm going to have to go back to my personality.
Purpose.
And what if I've misplaced it?
Yeah.
What if I haven't got one anymore?
And you will find that.
Oh, the midlife crisis is in the post. Like that's on its way.
Because when my husband was a stay-at-home dad till my daughter was 12. It was meant to be a short-term
that's ideal. That's the dream.
The kids didn't want him to go back to work. They still wanted him to be there, even though I only worked 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And we were there together 4 out of 7.
Yeah.
They didn't know any different, and I think everyone felt a little bit apprehensive about it, but it was my youngest. She started high school, and then he just went and got a little job, not full-time, because that transition, so when and if it does happen for you, that's massive, because everyone hates it.
Well, I guess like she had the consistency of him in like going to high school. I'm guessing, like, I don't know anything about this age, because you're kind of like the ideal parent for the age your kids are.
Absolutely.
And if you had to look after a kid who was a week older or a week younger than them, you're like, I can't do it. But I can do
you
7 years and 2 weeks. Like, I'm honed for that. But I don't know. But I'm guessing like your youngest kid who's going to high school had like the constant like solidity of the father there all the time, when everything else in life, hormonally, school, like social stuff, is just going chaotic.
He was the one. So they've never gone to like, I mean, when in school holidays, it's a lot for any, just because he's a parent, just because he's a man, it doesn't mean that he doesn't need a break. So we put him in kids camp 1 or 2 days a week so he could just go off and play golf. But talking about society, oh my God, the ribbon he used to have. Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
How long ago was this?
So she's 18 now, so it would have been, I would have said right up until she was 12 before he went back to work.
From who?
From his friends.
Are they friends?
Exactly.
I've never had that response
at all. But it's because it's the unknown. And even like, you know, I'm 49, my husband's 48. I can see a massive shift now in men becoming, this isn't a term that I use, by the way, less of a babysitter and more of a parent.
Yeah, daddy daycare, that makes me want to get,
it
makes my skin go on fire.
It is, and they saw that he was in a very privileged position, which he was, because he got to spend time with his kids and parent properly.
Yeah.
And we both were, because we both completely understood the stresses of parenting.
Yeah.
It's probably why we stayed together. Because it weren't me just ranting about, these fucking kids, they've got on my nerves all day. We both
really only
understood.
Your partner knows like the full extent of what you've gone through emotionally, physically, spiritually, like or just getting through a morning.
That's why you're together, right?
You become like comrades more than lovers.
You are a team.
Yeah.
And I miss that when we didn't need to be a team anymore. But even like they saw that he was privileged in a way that he didn't have to work. But I know if it was me, it would be, she's a stay-at-home mum, that must be a nightmare.
Yeah.
What's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
It used to drive us insane, but I'll hold my hands up. And on the first podcast, when we spoke, my first episode, my family come on. That was the first episode. And when he introduced himself, he introduced himself as the wife.
Yeah.
And he hasn't brought that up for about for about 14 years. I used to call him it jokingly. Mm-hmm. And then one day he blew his top. He was like, don't call me that.
Can be seen as like emasculating.
It is emasculating. It's derogatory.
Yeah.
But he hasn't brought it up forever.
Oh, well,
and then
men can sit on things. Men can, deep well of resentment, and then it'll just pop like a volcano. But there's like the reverse is also true. Like, I often, if we went to like a medical appointment together, the default questions would be to their mother in Spain. And I spoke, she wouldn't mind me saying, I spoke better Spanish than my girlfriends.
Yeah.
And even like during the labour, I would be, because also like she's in pain because she's trying to push 2 kids out of it. So they would ask her questions where she was like not in a position to talk. She got like, she's taken too many, she's just high. She's got too high.
Yeah,
so you're given a control of you're given a control of gas in her, which is a mistake if you know her history. And I know, like, she's so English as well, right? When she was speaking to the nurses and the doctors and everyone, the midwives, she was using like the formal Spanish and saying like por favor and gracias, please and thank you if you don't know, right? And I'm like, save your energy, love, because this is a 40-hour labour. Do you know what I mean? Stop being so English. And she's like, please, could you pass in Spanish? She's like, please, can you pass me the vomit bowl if you would be so kind? And I'm like, just say, shout the word vomit, or just start vomiting, and they'll bring it over.
Throw up now.
Very English.
Yeah.
So the dad thing. So people would like default to her, which really annoyed me, because I would know, because I would be at home with them.
You would have, exactly.
Yeah.
And you would have had those conversations about what her wishes were and things.
When I said earlier about her knowing everything, if it's about the kids, and I'll know like who their swimming teacher's name, I know his blood type, like I know everything about their lives, because it's like a free soap opera to children, isn't it? She would know things, boring things that I think are inconsequential, like how we pay the mortgage. Yeah. Or not how we pay it, but like how, like physically what you, like the bills and stuff. She knows all of that kind of logistical stuff.
Because that's unusual, and that's what we did too. So I was in charge of the finances, still am.
I wouldn't say that's unusual. Like, my parents are from the Valleys, and it's a Valleys thing, supposedly, for the man to go out and work, which I admittedly don't do.
Yeah.
And then go home, give the wife the paycheck.
Yes, back in the day.
And then she would like say, well, the kids need this. This is the new shoes. This is for the bills. This is for mortgage. And here's your beer money.
Here's your 50 quid beer money.
So whether that's like a remnant of that Valley's working class thing or well, I don't know. But that's what we do. But she's just better with it. And you play to your strengths as a couple as well, didn't you?
Yeah, because the reason why... It's always been that way. We still have separate bank accounts. We've never had a joint bank account. And the reason why we did it is hand on heart, because we wouldn't fucking leave the country if he did it.
Right.
And I wanted to balance the book so we could have a life and bring the kids up in freedom and enjoy travelling and stuff. But because of his upbringing, and he spent a lot of time with his nan and grandpa, who were very much like his grandpa would bring home the money and give it, but everything would have a pot. And if you didn't have money, you couldn't do anything. Whereas I didn't want to do that, bringing up kids. I wanted to find the money to do something. And if that meant foregoing something else, that's kind of what we had to do.
Yeah.
But I think that played into people saying, like, you don't even know how much your mortgage is. And it was ridicule. I think they thought, and this is what I wanted to ask you, they definitely thought he was living the life of Riley.
Did they have kids themselves? Because it's hard. It's like relentless toil.
Yes, but they obviously... didn't pick.
Right, yeah.
I don't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't that involved. They just used to go and work.
Yeah. I do hate that. Yeah.
They just used to go to work, see him on the weekends, and do all the nice things.
Yeah.
And it did used to bother him, and we talk about it now. And he said, "I'm so like," and you'll have these conversations when they're older. I'm so grateful that I had that. Like, their relationship is second to none. Like, they 100% would prefer him over me, and I'm fine with it.
Does that feel okay?
No, it never, but I'm fine with it now, because they come to me for other things.
Yeah.
But that was hard. Have you two had that conversation? Have you hit a road like that?
Yeah. With twins, like, a lot of things organically appear that you wouldn't plan for. So having boy-girl twins, like any... I would be gender neutral anyway, right?
Yeah.
We're in nail varnish, for example, right? But you get a toy and you put it in the middle of the floor and they play with it wherever they want to play with, you know.
Yeah, whatever toy it is.
If he wants to play with, like, a fairy mermaid palace. He obviously can. And he could anyway if he was a single kid.
Yeah.
But it's just there, and you're not imposing subconsciously gender biases on the
Yes.
kids. And then I think it might have bothered her when the girl seemed more kind of like innately
Towards you.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it because I just need the adoration. And then whenever it was a reverse, and like obviously it flips back and forth, she was like incredibly sympathetic about it. If the kid never said, no, I want mama, not dada, like she would obviously be like really like empathetic with me. Whereas if I got the twins adulation, I would be like marching around the house with them on my shoulders saying they love me the most, because it's psychological warfare. It's an emotional battle. But yeah, I think she does find it hard because she's a primary school teacher and a really good one, and it's like a vocation and it's a passion for her.
And she loves it.
She does love it, and as part of, we were away for 14 years in Spain, hence the deep mahogany tan I've got. One of the intangible reasons we came back was like she needs to be in that environment that she like excels in, which is a kind of British culture in general, but also specifically in her job, like
is that why you come back?
Lots of different reasons, like lots of like hiraeth, like the mother umbilical cord. Can you get it back a little bit?
For you, or for her, or for both?
Well, she's not from here.
Yeah, no.
But that chaos of Spain I was talking about, like that isn't sustainable
When you've got kids?
Just like long term, the novelty of not being able to, like, the bureaucracy and just not being able to, nothing really working, the infrastructure not particularly working well. Aside from, I should say, the health system, because shout out to the Sanitaria Pública Española, because the NHS there was fantastic. They were amazing. We haven't had a kids year, so in Britain, whatever Britain is nowadays, we haven't had one. But in Spain, they were brilliant.
Good luck.
Yeah. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because I'd never want to denigrate the NHS either, because it's...
It is what it is.
No, but the ideals behind it, the ideology behind it, and the philosophy,
so
the
lucky.
Politics behind it, it's just, Tories, etc. But anyway, what was I going to say?
It's that, why did you move back here?
Oh, just like intangible things, really. Like an element of... We travelled a little bit like you did, Poland and Belarus with the twins.
Yeah.
That was, when they were one, was like impractical. And also like Belarus was like still more or less like a Soviet, a shard of the Soviet Union. So it was really difficult to get milk, for example. And babies, quite fond of milk, little known fact. So it was like, we're taking our kids to a place where can't really like feed them properly. There was no milk in the shops. And like privileged position, like that's their reality. Yeah. And it's difficult because I've got like a difficult relationship with the Soviet Union because like I'm fascinated by it. And it's like we travelled loads around whatever, Kazakhstan and like Estonia and like all of the former Soviet republics, fascinated by the history of it and the political ideology and stuff. Yeah. But then travelling around it after it's all fallen apart, it's a little bit like if you ever go to like a girlfriend's house, but she lived in that house with an ex-boyfriend, and you're looking around to find out like what's his influence on her in the house. But you will never meet the guy. That's what it's like with walking around Belarus looking for communist signs. Kids not as interested in like brutalist architecture as you would think. So we couldn't get any milk, and we're just like, maybe we'll just go to a field and find a cow and just directly suckle from the teat. I don't know. But that was a mistake. But so we travelled after that, which was all right. It was funny for a month, but unsustainable. Every like Easter and summer, we'd come back. Yeah,
Wales.
Specifically to Wales, a little bit up to like Potato Land, where she's from, but mostly And kids seemed more at home. Yeah. And I use that word like advisably because after like pursuing multiculturalism and like different experiences all over the world, this kind of ugly truth of subconsciously you want your kids to be brought up in the culture that you grew up in, and it's kind of testament to my childhood, which was like relatively was quite happy. Yeah. They just seemed more at home and happier.
Wow.
Yeah, and we could have that kind of direct comparison, despite everything in Britain being worse, because it is.
The kids were happier.
The wine, the weather, the women, everything's worse. But they're just happier. And I think we are happier having come back for 2 years. What was
your first thoughts when that was like obvious? That's what you needed to do. Were you a little bit like, fuck?
I think I was just like in a like shit park in Barry, watching them play with my mother in the rain. I was in the car, obviously, nice and dry. No. And just thinking like they need her, she needs them. Because when you have kids, you look at, not only do you fall into like a endless well of
You're
like
just a slave.
Yeah, but of just
To
like
love.
kaleidoscopic, like refracted love.
Yeah.
It's dizzying. But not just that, you fall in love with the people that you already loved, but for different reasons.
Watching them
So
together.
your mother you love as a grandmother now, or your partner you love as a mother, and she'll look at my boy in a way I know she's never looked at me.
Yeah.
And instead of wanting to duel him, which is my innate response, like I'm glad she would choose him, and she should.
Yeah, raw protectiveness.
Yeah. And your friends, my brother's like a brilliant uncle, and we get on better than we ever have. Or you see your friends, instead of just like dickheads you went to school with, is like totemic examples of how to be for the kids.
Yeah.
And it's all, what's the word? It's just like exponential, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just all these, and now like whatever, they all have an individual relationship with each other, which in some ways has got nothing to do with me, and I don't want to be an intermediary or like a conduit for those relationships.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of them, and then having kids, you realise what your parents like sacrificed like for you that you don't even remember, but they must have done. Like I didn't grow up in a cardboard box.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They must have fed me, and they did what I did, the sleepless nights and all that worry and everything. So you kind of want to return that to them. Pragmatically, we're going to need to look after them at some point. And do we make the move when the kids are 5 and the baby was 2? Or do we do it when they're 10 and 7 and you've got all of those problems and they're more Spanish than they are Welsh, and the
transition probably wouldn't have been so lovely.
Yeah, and I wanted them to leave before they realised how better Valencia is than South Wales.
Why not where she come from?
It's like politically I'm not on board with it. So she's from like Thatcherstown, right? And she would be like vociferously left wing, which is like a staple of going out with me. That's like that's day one, needs to be established. But she's from Thatcherstown, and there's Thatcher values there, and it's flat, and the people are flat.
She didn't want to stay there either, then.
No.
So
first time we met, we were at a family. First time I met a family, we were at like a big meal in an Indian restaurant.
Why I'm laughing.
Well, we're all getting to know them. I've had a few drinks, and this estranged uncle, or someone who wasn't like in the inner nucleus of the family, said to Shelley, my partner, / future wife, if things go well, do you want to? Did you go to the same school as Margaret Thatcher? And she said, yeah, I did. And he said, what influence did she still have in the 90s on her school? And Shelley said, well, every day they said, remember girls, be like Margaret.
Oh my God, fuck off.
Well, the guy said, did it work? Did you end up like Margaret Thatcher? And I said, she's fucking the Welsh. Which politically, and they've never looked at me in the eye since. It's 14 years ago and I've still never fully been embraced.
I reckon she fell in love with you at that moment.
Do you think so? It just was never on the cards.
So you never
Her mother said, I don't think it's fair that you live in one place. So she does feel a burden for that, but also like it's not a fair competition because I've got a complicated relationship with Barry, the area.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of industrial South Wales, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like if you get away from like Greg's outlet on Houghton Road, you got that.
Yeah.
The beach is beautiful. Port Kerry's lovely. Like you could be in the Gurnos estate and drive 10 miles, and you're in like people who travel all around the world to like go to Banau Brycheiniog. Like Wales is stunning. But her mother said it's fair if you move halfway between Barry and Lincolnshire.
But then you haven't got support off either side of the family.
We looked at a map, it would be Coventry. Like, I'm not living in I can't go from Valencia to Coventry, can I? You can't go down in quality of life. Well, I have done, but
that's just steel.
She loves it. She pushed for Barry.
You never had to have that awkward conversation of where are we going to move. So
we looked at like we'd be more culturally interested in like say a Cardigan, Abertavy or Caernarfon. Like I learn in Welsh. I want the kids to have like a intimate connection to like Celtic heritage and identity. There's an art scene there. It's a bit folksy. It's beautiful.
I love West Wales.
But then we thought it's kind of perverse to move back to the country and then not be next to mum and dad.
Yeah, not have support. You know what I mean? Yeah, you need your village.
Yeah, and you look at Barry and you look at the town that you're from or wherever you are. with parental eyes and you value things.
Totally
and Barry's got
different.
it back. Barry's got green space.
Totally.
Barry's 20 minutes away from like a cultural capital. Like it's not bad.
What are your challenges as the, how do you put it? Because you are the main carer.
Yeah.
So what are your challenges with mums and babies classes, which...
Yeah. Well, so my own mother, who's a very modern woman, very progressive, like don't have to have any Daily Mail type conversations with her. She's brilliant. But she will say to me, how was mother and toddler today? To her own son. And she knows my chosen gender, do you know what I mean? But fine, because that's just what she used to say.
Yeah, it's not from a place of like taking the piss.
But what I did notice is like my parents, like hyper modern, travel, and whatever, they're more kind of tech savvy than I am, willfully so. But when you're not in that world of babies, like you're a midwife obviously, but like if you're just a mother with older kids, and someone hands you a baby, you just immediately delete all the information because you don't need it anymore, and it's not useful, and you've got to remember the new stuff. So you might move on with technological advances or traveling advances, but with kids, unless you're in it, you don't. So anyway, so when will ask me,
how was my baby?
So I love it because like it's an open. Being the only dad there, you get a lot of attention anyway.
Of course.
I don't know if it's obvious, but I thrive on attention. For middle-aged women, tired middle-aged women is my key demographic. And they're just nice people. I struggled a little bit because I thought I might find my tribe, that phrase, with other parents before kids.
And have you?
No, I feel more alienated now than ever because I don't automatically get on with, because some people don't give a shit about their kids. And I can't, that's really, I find it like intolerable. Do you know what I mean? I can't deal with it. But the ones I've met in these various parenting groups
and
are
you're
lovely.
the only dad?
More or less. And then when the dad comes in, I try and freeze him out. I don't want the competition. Do you know what I mean?
There's
no solidarity at all.
It's
like, I invented this. Do you know what I mean? So trying to steal my limelight.
My husband never felt like that.
No, there is like a small alliance, and you'll have a little bit of a chat about.
No, he didn't. There wasn't
sport.
anything. I don't think he ever.
There weren't any other dads, really.
No, and there was never. Mums weren't accepting of it, so I still took them to the play groups on my days off.
Why were the mothers? I do understand. Sometimes I felt, and so Caroline, our mutual friend, would be one of the mums I'm closest to.
Always,
but they've never. I've never really felt like, they're talking about women's problems, which I hate as a term as well. But so I'll back off. Yeah. Sometimes I might have done that, but also like they just forget that I'm there.
Really?
So I've also become a lot camper in the last 2 years, and it's like I kind of feel like one of the girls, which is mad. Not that I would be like hyper macho beforehand, but I do have more
femininity.
Yeah,
my
it's
husband
weird.
did.
Yeah, but hormonally you change when you have.
Of course you do.
The dads change during pregnancy hormonally. I stopped looking at other women for 3 years.
Wow.
It was awful.
No window shopping.
But now what's good is that if they complain about their husbands,
do you
I by default look amazing.
But do you join in and say to them, well, no, actually, we're different.
I know their husband. In
brains.
these specific examples, I know their husbands, and their husbands are nice guys.
Yeah.
But in general, I will try and drive a wedge between them and their husbands. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Yeah,
but
I don't believe you.
It is. But it's just kind of, I get that they might want a safe space to complain about whatever they want to complain about.
Yeah.
I don't.
Do you get that vibe then?
No. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of chat about kids.
Yeah.
Because that's 90% of your life anyway. Then the 10% is like escapism. Do you remember when life was different?
When did you both decide that that's what you were going to do?
So in Spain, it was 50-50 pretty much. If anything, I went out to work a little bit more.
Did you decide before you moved back home?
No, but one of the reasons we went back home was because like she's a really good teacher, and she took like basically a 14-year hiatus from reality, and we both did. But she had a career to go back to, and I haven't found out what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because as I said before, not a real person. Yeah. But she did have this thing, and she almost like, it was me pushing to leave. It was me who wanted that experience, and then we both got there. We was meant to be for a year, and we both said, I can't go back. Like, this is too good. We're having too much fun. It's quite hedonistic, just like learning language, falling in love with another culture. It was almost like uni part 2 as well, because there were lots of other young people in the same boat. And it was just carefree, kind of like untethered happiness.
Have you brought that into your parenting style?
Quite free and easy, I would say. Yeah, the kids are like happy.
Yeah.
Like, the rules there's not many rules, but just be nice to each other. And the thing is, that's such a vague rule that's open to interpretation and can be broken. But just speak nicely.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. So the Spanish wouldn't say please or thank you.
No, I know that it comes across as so abrupt, but it's just their way.
That's a cultural thing, and that's also like because por favor means like by grace of God is where it comes from, or gracias means graces. So por favor means like if you do me this favor, that's the origin of it anyway. Then God will do you a favor in return.
Oh, I don't like
it's all hyper Catholic, but that's why they wouldn't say it, because they will only say it when you really need to help it. So when you get por favor, it's like, oh Christ, they're in trouble. This is an emergency situation. But if someone's doing something for you, like a waiter bringing a drink, I would always say it, because I was more or less relatively well brought up. But if they all just wouldn't say thank you, because it's like their argument would be, well, that's his job.
That's his job.
I don't. So please and thank you are not hyper important, but the tone and the acknowledgement of the other person also being a human being is important.
Does your partner ever, have you had like the argument where like you're lucky you get to stay at home with them all day?
So what's difficult for her is that a lot of her like energy is spent with children who aren't her children, and they're the same age. So we've got a 3-year-old and 2 twins who've just turned 7, and she teaches 6-year-olds.
Jesus Christ.
So, and it's in the school's quite challenging, kids are quite challenging, it's full on, and it's like your frontline social services. And it's a lot of emotional stuff to deal with, and they shouldn't sit down. Like, she dedicates her life to that job.
Yeah.
She's around plenty. Like, she'll leave early and she'll get home at like maybe 4 or 5, which to a teacher is like miraculous.
That is,
But that's because she gets up at 6, because she's a lunatic. She was worried that the kids default for me for fun anyway, and that's something other women have said.
That's natural, by the way. Like, kids go to Gabor Mate, I love him. They go to dads for the oxytocin, not the mums, believe it or not. Even if you're not the default parent, and they go to mums for the upset time. So they'll go to dads for tumble on the floor and things.
Yeah. She struggles with that a little bit. But it's got quite a harmonious life in general. Like, it works really well, and it's not sickening to say, we're like deliriously happy, but we are. Like, it
is beautiful.
It is.
It's so when people like on the outside used to say to my husband, "Oh, you're so lucky," it's like we all were. The 5 of us were lucky because we created this little team and unit where it was all hands on deck, because yes, he was a dad, but he wasn't the stay-at-home dad from day one. It's something he had to transition into after. I mean, he was always hands-on anyway, but to go from being there a few hours a day to 7 days a week with 3 of them from never having done it before, that was a massive transition, and I was still the one telling him what to do.
So I've just found out you're not meant to ask a woman, what shall I do in the house? You're meant to know.
You're meant to know,
I thought I was being a good guy by saying, what shall I do? And then I'll do it.
Don't do that. But then I say to women, men are very logical. They don't want to play games. Make it easy for them and tell them what you want him to do.
And then you'll get what you want. It's a win-win system for everyone.
You're not going to say no, are you?
But like a lot of things, it's trying to have like a big picture of it all, and like I can't find things, right? I just I'll be looking in the fridge and I have to ring it in work and go, she's trying to teach 30 kids, and I'm like, she'll tell me where it is, and it was right in front of me. I just can't see that.
Does
and
she get angry?
You've got to embrace the frailties in another person, haven't you? Because it just makes it easier. So we try to do that if we can. But she does feel guilty. And then what you do as a dad, you get the reverse of people assuming the mum knows more, is that if I just do the smallest thing and I'll just get a patronising, oh, well done, oh, you've got wet wipes with you. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm meant to have wet wipes. We lived in a flat in the city centre of Valencia for 6 years, and then we bought a house, a upside down ceramic shack on the beach in a very singular area, politically, linguistically, racially unique, amongst the Gitano community, which would be Roma, you can't say you can say it. I wouldn't say gypsy in English because it has
Love it.
connotations, but
I
Roma
love gypsies.
people.
Yeah.
And so it was 70%. The dads there, I hate this phrase, wouldn't be hands-on traditionally. So it's the mum and the nans. But because I was, and I would just do the simple task of like walking the twins to sleep in a double pram, and I'd get applause from the streets, and I'd say, "Que padrazo," which means like, "What a super dad." And I wouldn't want that because if my girlfriend did it, she'd get nothing.
That's so bad.
Spain like really fetishizes.
Do you find that here though?
Less so, but it's less obvious because people in Wales don't applaud you in the streets
for anything.
So like they're more effusive people in general. You know, they're out in the street more anyway, and they just have no compunction to tell you exactly what they think. Yeah. For good and ill. So, but a few times I've gone to the doctors or the social worker. I'd be speaking to Shelley as if I wasn't there, as if I was like a weekend dad. Do you know what I mean? But fine. That's all right.
What if you could change your situation right now? If you could change one thing about it, what would you, if anything?
I don't think nothing. It's lovely. The twins are really happy in school, so they've transitioned really well. They've gone to the Welsh language school over the roads. Yeah. That transition was quite seamless. They went to a Spanish state school, so they spoke Spanish anyway.
Wow. So they pick Welsh up like that.
We felt guilty. Well, the Welsh has pushed the Spanish out of their heads.
Oh, that's sad.
It is sad. There'll be odd bits. There's vocabulary used, but they can't say a sentence anymore. It's like in their head, the Welsh has just pushed the Spanish out. And it's like if there was a street fight between a Welshman and a Spaniard, the Welshman would push the Spaniard out. It's just the same things happened in their brain. Because they were used to Catalan as well, where we lived. Yeah. It would... they were like... They had the ability... They knew what it was like to go to school and not understand everything. And we were like, well, we felt guilty about taking them away from Valencia and all the beauty it offered anyway. We felt guilty about, if you're going to take one international language away, replace it with another major international language, like Welsh, for example. So they've done this really well. And then I'm just at home with, who hasn't got a lot of attention in this podcast, but the 3-year-old, and she's a lunatic. She's amazing. Yeah. For the first 9 months, the ideal baby, but then she became a sociopath. But it's like like a deep sleeper cell Russian agent, just like in hiding. That's what she was for the first 9 months, and then she let her personality
boom,
because she's trying to compete with
always,
and she's trying to like literally and metaphorically elbow her way to center stage.
That develops even further as they grow older. Yeah. I think that I call it peacocking, sibling peacocking. The minute they're in a room, they revert back to that childhood age where it's like, I want attention, even at 26.
It's just like, if you ever see piglets trying to fight for 3 piglets fighting for 2 teats, like, it's just mathematically not going to work. But she hasn't, we didn't put a huge amount of thought into having, it was planned and everything. Yeah. I think we had a really good week with the twins. We were like, I think we've like mastered parenting. Let's have another one. I remember like an epiphany of going up the stairs, holding the boy and just like, this can't, because with twins and Shelley's friend has had twins with IVF, and she's really lucky to have twins with IVF, and it was a long journey, etc. And she says, like, it's beautiful, it's overwhelming, it's busy, it's intoxicating, but it's all, I only get to do this phase once. Yeah. Oh my God. And I never, remember holding the boy when he was like 1. Wow. And I was like, this can't be the only time I do it in my life.
That is, do you know what? I've never thought of it like that.
So twins is easier though, because like it's relentless. But if you're changing one nappy, you're changing 2. When I go to these various mum groups on the mum circuit, and I see a knackered supermarket mum, ideal demographic, she's got like a 3-year-old and 1-year-old, Caroline. I'm like, how do you do that? Because that's 2 different needs, like in food, in entertainment, in clothes. Goes back
to what you said earlier about how to look after what you've got there and then. Yeah. I've never thought about that with twins.
Yeah, because it's very intense experience.
You've got 2, but you've only done it once. You've only been pregnant one time. You've only given birth one time. And
there's the massive guilt about, right, I'm spending time, I'm comforting this one, but I'm having to leave that one cry for a little bit. Or like I've only got never have more kids than hands is the rule. Yeah. And I can't be both, all things to both of them at the same time. And so she, especially my girlfriend, felt guilty about that.
Are there any more bambinos in the future?
So So we're kind of going through that now, to be honest. So
What, you? Because you want to be a stay-at-home dad forever?
it's selfishly, it's a way of delaying like life choices for another 4 years, because it would just carry on like this, and I don't enter the real world. Like I've closed the curtains to it, and I'm just on the floor with a toy piano and like primary colours and little animalitos. It's lovely. So I do want to delay that, but also I want like chaos. It's gone so like each kid's getting better, each new version, each like
miss that chaos.
So maybe the fourth one will be like the ideal child, because they're just getting better.
Yeah.
But so we do want it. She wants 4. We had a miscarriage like 2 years ago.
Oh, that makes you want even more.
Do you think so? But we've got having fertility issues, which we haven't had before. So like we conceived the week we wanted to conceive, and it was
on both pregnancies.
Both pregnancies, like no issue during the pregnancy really at all. A little bit. It was like you couldn't have planned it better. Yeah. Obviously, like I'm aware of how lucky we are.
So we got to, my youngest was 5 and I wanted more straight away. My husband didn't, because he did that whole big transition of being the dad, stay-at-home dad. And then he had an awakening, was like, yeah, I want more kids. And we had unexplained fertility and couldn't. Really? For about 5-6 years. I know now I was going through the early menopause, didn't know. But so many families go through this. So obviously I do continuity of care. I said the same to Caroline. Yeah. If there's any kind of hint that you want more children, you've just got to jump on it. Because at any given time, that thing that you were just so lucky at achieving gets taken away from you, and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. This was so easy. We just basically what you've just said. And
life kind of also outside of the kids just fell into our hands a little bit. Yeah. Like we were just like continuously lucky for 14 years in like every regard of our life. Yeah. That there was an arrogance of it just will happen because I want it to happen.
Yes. But why wouldn't you think that?
And then when we had the first miscarriage, that was like, again, we could see straight away, and it was all like on plan. It was happening. Yeah. And I knew it was early from after our now youngest. Yeah. But I wanted them all close together. I wanted to give the youngest like a little play.
Ready.
Yeah, like because the twins are just an old married couple. Yeah. They're just like inseparable. It's like Jack and Vera Duckworth on Coronation Street. Like they'll go to bed after being with each other all day, and they're still talking till 10 o'clock. And it's like, what have you got to say?
I love it.
That you haven't said already?
They're so lucky.
Me and the mother ran out of conversation 11 years ago. Like, that's why we had you. Do you know what I mean?
So you've got something to talk about.
Yeah. It's argue about the children, Netflix and bed.
You should watch my episode with Greg Foley. It's, I think, episode 3 or 4, and it's on preconception and miscarriage. There's so many things in there that you'll just be like, oh my God, it could be that.
I don't know, for me, I can only speak for me. I don't know how useful it would be for me personally to know exactly why that was. But also, like, we went to the fertility clinic in Pontyclun on Wednesday.
Yeah. CRGW?
Again, my girlfriend does everything.
Okay.
No, I'm involved and I would go, but I just don't know the name. No, Care Fertility.
Oh, okay.
On the way to Ponty Lido.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ponty Lido. Yeah. It's brilliant. And she went in to get it, because we didn't want the kids to know obviously what we're doing. Knowingly, my eldest daughter can read, so she's like, what's a fertility clinic? So Shelley went up to get the
bloods and stuff.
Yeah, like the medicine. Yeah. No, not the scan, because I would have been there with her for that, but just like the boosters.
Yeah.
And the toilet. So I went into the fertility clinic with 3 children, like 3 beautiful, bright, smart, funny, irreverent children. I'm hypersensitive of like, there's a woman going up there probably thinking I'll never have kids, and here I am, boy girl twins, and they're all like beautiful inside and out and healthy and happy.
It's just your apologetic nature.
Probably, yeah, but also like I want to be like
sensitive
to other people, because like I know how much what having kids has done for me, like how much happier I am.
That's why you want more.
That's why I want more, and that's why I want other people to have it. I want everyone,
everyone to have kids. Yeah, that's because it's a drug. It's completely addictive, and standing in your kitchen, I might cry now, in the not too distant future where you don't have them all home.
Yeah, I can't. I'm
just gonna a fucker.
Adopt a Kenyan kid or something. I'm gonna have to do something.
I'm
scared of it, and that's 15 years away.
I don't think anything will prepare you for it. Because my friends, we had kids quite young, and my friends who have theirs all still at home, even though mine kind of are now, because they just come and go.
Well, that's luckily, because of modern Britain, they won't be able to afford to leave the house until 35.
Like, my son's got his own house. They were they worked hard, and they bought a house 4 years ago at 22. Whether they can keep it is another thing, but he only lives around the corner. But I don't think they call it empty nest syndrome for nothing. It is I would say, if all the parenting routes you go down and all the transitions, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in the trenches, you can't ever think that, you know, a lot of you hear, and you're allowed to say, oh my God, I can't wait till they're old enough and more independent. You're allowed to say that because it's crap. But then I'm like, be careful what you wish for. Because
I don't even wish that. Like, I remember my girlfriend teaching the boy how to swing himself, like push it on the swings, push your legs up, and I was like, no, that's not independent. Don't like make this child independent. Like we want him to need us. Do you know what I mean? Now you're going to teach him to read and write. That's not on. I'm going to bind their feet like the Chinese did in the 18th century. No, but it's like
it is a drug.
Yeah,
there's no other
not just
word
that.
for
Like
it.
you went to uni after the kids. You said,
yeah.
But my girlfriend has known she wanted to be a teacher since she was 12.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other people, and you know, imposter syndrome and all that. But like, it feels like they've got like self-satisfaction in their career, or they're money oriented, they've got money, or whatever. Really, the only things that ever gave me like solace were women and traveling. Yeah. Which you can't really hold on to them. You can only hold on to one woman.
You did well.
And but the travel is just like a memory. It's not a tangible thing. And it was brilliant. But like, I've never found a career, and I think yeah, it doesn't pay very well.
No, it doesn't.
No, and there's no career. Yeah, but it's like a career that, you know, it's like getting into like a dying industry. It's like deciding to be a print journalist in 2025. It's just like, you got 5 years left. If that, I'm going to feel it especially keenly, because at the age of 34, I was like, fuck, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Yeah. And I didn't know for 20 years.
That's where you were meant to be.
I just didn't think I'd find it. Yeah, I've never cared about
anything. And now it's
else.
like that fear of when that's taken away, you have to find out what. My husband still doesn't know what he wants to do, but he's taught himself painting and decorating, which is his little. That's what he does. That's his job. Yeah. But it took ages to get to there, because nothing would ever compare. Yeah. To being. I remember him ringing me in work. Just this last thing. I'm going to ask you your 3 questions then. I remember him ringing me in work on a night shift, and my daughter was, I can't remember, 10 or 11, and he was like, she's just gone into her own room. Yeah. I was like, it was always going to happen, because when I was on a night shift, she would jump in with him. And that he still talks about it now, and he was like, I'm devastated. And then she remembers it, and the reason why she did it was school pressure. People saying, but he's your dad. If it was your mum, it would be okay. But he was absolutely like ripped to the core. Before he was a stay-at-home dad, you would never think he was going to be that kind of person. I think it changed him immeasurably. Yeah. And then trying to find out what he wanted to do after he was no longer needed, even though you're always needed.
And you're not going to find a job that you care about. I don't think he's ever been
happy since. It's taken him a while to get to the point where
Is that why people get a dog?
We have got a dog.
Yeah. We get 2 dogs. No, but it's coming. You can feel it very slowly arriving, like the tide, and it's just I'm already devastated for the future reality. Yeah,
because what are you going to do when your little one goes to school?
So she started in Meithrin, which is for the monoglots amongst us. Yes. It's that nursery. Yeah. So luckily, she's going to have like 16 months in total. So I've got another September to September of her only going in the afternoons. Yeah. So she's only in school for like 2.5 hours a day.
And obviously in between that time, you're hoping to have a bigger family.
Yeah, so I think we might give it one more go, because it's not really working. It's causing quite a bit of distress, like physically and stuff for her.
It's huge.
Yeah, and...
Would you adopt?
I really like my kids. Do you know what I mean? And that's awful, because I obviously believe... Like, there's foster kids in our family, and there have been... it's weird. You become like, you're aware of your own hypocrisy and stuff, and like, I care about the planet, and I want.
But I want my own.
But I want my own. It's like everyone wants a puppy. Like, ideally, we should all like adopt like a 14-year-old dog, like riddled with cancerous tumours. But I want a puppy.
You're so right. I wanted to adopt. I wanted to foster when it wasn't working, and my husband was like, I don't feel like I can forge that connection with a child that's not mine. But you don't know.
You never know, because I've thought with the youngest one, I was like, I can't love as deeply as I have with
your heart just grows.
Yeah. You've got the capacity. Yeah, you've got the capacity, and it's endless, the capacity. But there's an extra worry if it wasn't genetically your kid.
Yeah.
And the families, so you make it, and I don't believe like blood is. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like I'm getting to like eugenics, or whatever. Yeah. No, but I want, because like when my youngest looks like the offspring of the two eldest. And like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Or it's like, I can see, you just looked at me, just like your mother looks at me.
Yeah, I know.
With like awful judgments.
Yeah.
And they just, those like, like when you throw a stone into a pond and you just get these ripples, that's what you see of your own genetics. And my boy has the same like failings in inverted commas if I do.
Yeah.
And you forgive him like a failure that you wouldn't forgive yourself. So he can't deal with loss, no cry.
Yeah.
Or he can't deal with, like, he's hypersensitive. So the youngest one, she lost her little dolly, like the dolly. Oh no, it was just broken, and we fixed it. And she was like, she's moving on to the next one. Yeah, she's like, this is another high enough standard for me. Get me a new one. And then the boy started crying. It's not even his dolly, and he's like, because like no one's going to play with the old dolly anymore.
Oh,
he hasn't moved. He's not ready to move on. It wasn't even his. Like, he had no relationship with it. That's that like crushing sensitivity, which I feel or felt.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I don't know, and I admire people who do it, but I don't know if I could have that closeness of a connection.
If you don't see those traits.
This feels like it's like an anti-fostering campaign, and it isn't. Not. Like those people who do it are amazing. And like I say, my auntie fostered 2 kids, and they were very much part of the family. One of them's coming to my mum's house this afternoon.
This is what it should be, though, because you shouldn't. You've thought about it, obviously. You haven't just gone into it, because I know couples that have fostered and then adopted and sent them back.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have those conversations.
You're also thinking, like, how would it affect the 3 I've got?
Exactly.
And it's going well now, and I'm, like, hesitant to bring any new dynamic into... Yeah. Also, like, we've got 3 bedrooms, we've got 3 kids, so it works.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bring... You're jeopardising their security and stability to an extent.
Yeah.
And we're not that desperate for... Like, so IVF... It's not IVF we're doing at the minute, but IVF is on the table, obviously, because it's a private business and they want money. She doesn't feel like she's that desperate to have a 4th.
Yeah, to go down that road.
So supposedly people know when they've had the last one, it's like, I don't need any more.
No,
Some people say they do, but we haven't. We both haven't felt that.
You definitely need to listen to that podcast.
Yeah, we'll
save you a lot of money.
Okay.
No, genuinely, honestly, with just little tweaks.
Yeah.
Your 3 questions. So the first one, what's a defining moment in your life? Not the A.
So it was about kids. It was going up the stairs with just looking at his little round face and thinking, I need to do this again.
What about you?
Again, this is going to sound like a Lonely Planet twat, but I was backpacking. I ran away from a girl, basically, and a quite intense relationship didn't go very well at the end. And I ran away to like Asia, cliche alert. And I was just drank for 6 months, trying to die of some kind of cirrhosis, basically, and held on to a lot of resentment and stuff. And it's just not in a psychologically good place. And then I was just on an island off the coast of Fiji, which itself is an island. And I was just looking at, so cliched, and so tried this observation. Like, there's no profundity coming here. It's not going to be any like mind-altering epiphany. I was just looking up, and I was like, I wanted that person who hurt me to fall down a rabbit hole, like physically, and break an ankle, but also like thinking about me all the time. And I just thought, well, like, why am I holding on to pain? She's actually a nice woman. We had a good run, and I want happiness for her. And that was, and from then, just didn't think about her. I thought about her all the time. She was like a hobby just to think about. It was just, do you know what I mean? It was like addictive almost, the pain and the agony of heartbreak.
Well, that goes back to what you said about your son, that he's got that trait of
so your boys can't let go.
Yeah. That is profound.
I don't know, but it worked.
Freeing is the word. You feel light. What would you go back and tell your younger self if you could have a chat with him?
Maybe it's like related, but I think when I was like, so I was quite happy as a kid, happy-go-lucky.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, and then I got to 15.
Oh, it's a fucker.
And it's a very intense, like, misanthropy, just like a Walking Smith lyric. And performative, probably, as well, because I went to Barry Boys, which single-sex schools do not agree with, but, like, it was the only comp in the town, so that's where I'm going. Didn't know how to talk to women. That's why I still can't talk to women now. But then in sixth form, 16 girls came in, and it just...
changed your life.
Cornucopian revolution. Just finally, like, I don't have to pretend to be someone else. But then girls liked the things that was... I got away with, like, a lot of bullying. I kind of skirted it because I played for the football team, so I was good at football.
Yeah.
So that was like a shield and a barrier for, like, the worst abuses. But if I was targeted for, like, sensitivity...
Girls loved it.
It's like a 16-year-old girl. There was nothing more than a kind of, like, withdrawn, kind of, like, deep-thinking, brooding poet. So I'd write poetry and candle wax on the fucking rocks down the Nap or whatever. God. But... it was performative to an extent, like hoping somebody would go, who's this mysterious character? He's in so much pain, he's so deep. But it was misery, really, for 2 years. Yeah. And it was just, like, it's too intense. And I really got into Radiohead at the time, which sounds like flippant, but if it just happened to be another album I picked up that day, and it was just, I don't know, whatever, The Strokes or something, I would have been a lot more... I just really got deep into the message of, like, alienation. And I just withdrew from...
so you wish you didn't?
Don't listen to Radiohead would be the advice. Pick up The Strokes and have a dance, I think.
But you enjoyed it, looking back. But it was trauma.
It was... I just think, like...
sounds intense.
I found hedonism relatively late, like, after that.
Yeah.
And, like, irreverence and just, like, I worried about a lot of things that were my responsibility to worry about. And...
Has that come back as a parent?
No, because either you would worry about everything and I would hyperfixate on things, or assume everything's going to be okay. And I've decided to assume everything's going to be okay.
Until it's not.
Yeah, and I'll deal with it then. And I've, like, because I was, like, relatively late having kids at 34, and I'd, you know, travelled and had, like, lived abroad and had various different jobs and been self-employed and, like, renovated a house and stuff. Like, I feel like I'm capable to sort out what if I need to sort something out, like, pragmatically or emotionally. But the world's so horrific at the minute politically. I can't, like, you
can't worry about everything.
No. And I can't worry about, like, is there going to be water for my children in 10 years? I'm going to assume there is. I'm going to recycle in the meantime. Vote sensibly at a general election, and just it'll be all right, won't it?
Or I'm on your page. I don't even watch it. I can't.
Somebody will probably sort it out.
It consumes you otherwise.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
A book, a poem, a film, a quote.
So
that you think everyone should listen or hear.
Yeah. So I thought about this. I haven't read a book in 6 years.
Love it. You've got 3 young kids.
Yeah. And then, like, even watching things, like, people will say to me, "Oh, have you seen this new series?"
Yeah.
And they'll go, "Oh, yeah," and then they'll want to talk about it.
But you haven't seen it.
No, I favorited it on Netflix, and it's like, it's on the list to watch, but that's, to me, I've seen it. Like, that's the closest I'm going to get, is, like, putting a heart emoticon next to it. So that's out the window as well. A quote. I've got a quote.
Yay.
But it's not really about kids.
It doesn't matter.
But again, I think I always try and bring everything back to there's a little nervous thing, but also, like, feels like little girls with you.
Oh.
Is that too sappy?
No.
Right, hang on, it's here somewhere. So, hashtag cancelled Woody Allen, problematic character, but he did make some good films in the 70s, didn't he? And as we all know, crimes committed in the 70s, you can't be held responsible for them now.
No, they weren't crimes.
Different world.
Things happen for a reason.
So, Annie Hall, which is a beautiful film about, like, romantic love.
Yeah, Annie Hall.
Annie Hall.
Okay.
Diane Keaton. Like, the ideal woman, aside from Stevie Nicks, like, 1976, Annie Hall is just, like... Not really, like, on this plane, is she? She's not, like, a different reality to the rest of us. Well, anyway, he falls in love with her and it doesn't work out, like, it, you know, like it often doesn't. And he's talking about love, and he says, love, it reminds me of that old joke. You know, a guy walks into a psychiatrist's office and he says, "Hey, doc, my brother's crazy. He thinks he's a chicken." And then the doc says, like, "Why don't you get him sectioned? Why don't you turn him in?" And the guy says, "I would, but I need the eggs." And he says, then Woody Allen goes on to say, like, that's how I feel about relationships. Like, they're crazy, they're irrational, they're logistical, they make no sense, they're absurd, but we keep persevering through it because we need the eggs.
Oh, I love that.
There you are.
Was it in the film?
Yeah, I've watched it for 18 years, so I might be misquoting it. But, yeah, it's in the film, yeah.
Because everyone says to me and my husband, how have you managed to stay together so long amongst all the, like any couple? And we never wanted to get a divorce on the same day. Someone's always fighting.
Yeah, you got to keep it.
Someone's always looking
over.
for the eggs. Wow, I love it. I've loved this. Thank you so much for
thanks
coming
for having me.
on.
A pleasure.
Good luck with everything, and I hope you remain to be a stay-at dad for 30 years.
I'm so close to retirement now. Do you know what I mean? I'm over the hill, so I may as well carry on doing it.
Forever and a day.
Yeah.
I agree.
Fingers
Maybe you
crossed.
should rent yourself out.
Like a male escort?
No. As a stay-at-home dad.
No, my girlfriend says, like, go and be a primary school teacher. But other
do
people's
daddy
kids.
daycare.
Do you think so?
Have them in your house. You'd be amazing.
Do you
I had
reckon?
this conversation with my husband when it was time.
What did he say?
Fuck off.
Yeah. I've given the best of myself, do you know what I mean?
No, fuck
I can't
off.
replicate it.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, thanks for having me.
Cheers.